Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Michelle here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Ben, and he's selling his Amazon KDP business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Welcome to the show, Ben. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm glad to have you here today, and I'm looking forward to learning more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of it. It's an Amazon KDP business in the books niche created in April 2019. The average monthly revenue for the business is $6,541, and it makes an average of $4,412 per month in net profit. For anyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 56148 to learn more about the business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's see what's included. We have a KDP account with 1,924 books, 1,906 paperback titles, 14 ebooks, and 5 hardcover books, an Ingram Spark account, 2 domains including all site content and files, social media accounts for Facebook and Instagram, and an email list with 74 subscribers. So Ben, now let's hear from you. What can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
So this KDP business was my first real online business. I started this in 2019 while I was a student. Before that, I was doing the odd retail arbitrage, on eBay and Amazon, but this is the first real online business that was really successful for me. So I built it up from April 2019. Originally in the low content space, so hence why there's so many books on the account. And yeah, from around 2020 onwards, the business has been doing 4 figures every single month, and it's just grown into a very nice passive online business for me.
Well, that's fantastic to have such great success with your first venture in online business. So how did you come up with the idea to start this?
So it was actually recommended to me from a friend who also has his YouTube channel. So I was looking for things to do. I considered Shopify dropshipping at the time. I considered FBA. But the business model of KDP was different to those two. And I liked it for the fact that it didn't have much startup costs. So I was a student at the time, so I didn't have that much money to start a business with. So KDP was just perfect. And it required something a little bit different, required a bit of creativity and everything.
And so why did you choose the niche that you chose?
So the niches that I chose, first of all, they were profitable on the Amazon marketplace. So I gravitated toward those niches. And secondly, they were also very scalable. So they didn't take a lot of time to make the books. There was a lot of different books you can make in the given niche that were in demand, basically. And you could outsource a lot as well to make it really passive so that virtual assistants would always constantly be making the books. So just very scalable and very profitable niches, essentially.
Well, it sounds like you've had a lot of success in building it up and you've got a great source of passive income at this point. So have you decided to sell the business now?
So I would like to go and venture into other forms of online business. I mean, it was very exciting building this business up and keep reaping the rewards from it. Always love a challenge as well. I always like to learn. And I feel like I want to be stimulated by, other forms of online business. So for example, I'm already doing YouTube. And yeah, I'd love to venture into Shopify dropshipping. I'd love to venture into Amazon FBA. I do have people that have done really well with it. I'd really like to get into those spaces. So that's why I'm selling the business today, to use the capital to invest into other online businesses.
Well, that's great. It's a good business plan. So is there anything you've learned from this business that you'll apply to future sites or businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, first things first, you've got the keywords and everything. You kind of get a feel for the Amazon algorithm, which is very valuable. I've picked up skills like how to make the book covers, the book interiors, so that it's fairly easy for me. Advertising as well. So advertising is a big part of the KDP business. The fact that I've gone through and tried to advertise my books and kind of trial and errored my way into doing really profitable ads for my books is given me a good knowledge base. So if I do other online businesses and need to advertise, then that's definitely a skill I can take with me.
Great. And is there anything that you learned while building this site that worked particularly well?
So I would say I got good at finding niches. So that has worked really well for me. I found some really good niches early on, just going through Amazon and looking at what the customers wanted. I also learned, again, like I say, advertising. So that's worked really well for me. I got into advertising early on in the KDP space. So, I failed and I failed fast with that. And then after, I got the hang of things, it worked really well for me quite quickly. I'd say those are the main things. Also with the book creation front as well, I got better at that. And again, I think everything's just come to work well for me, and hence the profit that I've generated from this.
Well, you were just talking about some of the failure that you experienced. So could you go into a little bit more detail about something that didn't work?
Yeah, sure. So with this whole KDP business, a lot of books that you'll see in the library haven't actually made a sale. There's a big feel of the 80-20 rule here. So I think the top 19 books literally generated over half my profits at this point. So if you remember, there was 1,900 books in the library. 19 of those generated over half the profit of the whole business. So there is a big feel for the 80-20 rule. So yeah, a lot of books that I've created, some of them have taken quite a bit of time, just haven't sold in the way that I'd have expected them to. But then on the contrary, some of the books, that I've put up there that haven't taken so much time have gone to sell really well. So I think the biggest failure would be the amount of time I've taken to make books that hadn't really sold.
All right. And when you're talking about advertising, where does the majority of your traffic come from?
So most of it comes from Amazon. So I do have my website, but in terms of the traffic generated, Amazon completely wins as they bring all the customers to my books who then go ahead and buy it.
And what else are you currently doing in terms of marketing?
So there's a built-in platform with Amazon called Amazon Advertising, very simple to use. And I use that to bring extra traffic to my books, and that only in terms of advertising.
All right. So if you were to keep your business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
So I would try and grow it by continuing to scale in the niches that I already have. Like I say, they're scalable and there's a lot of potential still in those niches. So I'd continue on with those niches. They're also very good Q4 niches as well. So they should experience some increased sales over this Christmas period. So I'd focus on that initially. And in the long term, I'll continue to, develop my website, develop my social media platforms and the niches that I have so that maybe more traffic can come in through that avenue, kind of just develop the niches that I have into more of a brand, if that makes sense. And obviously continue to put more books into those niches so that, you have a wider portfolio in each niche and therefore more books become into a brand.
Are there any other major opportunities for growth that you can think of?
Yeah, so obviously this is a low content business and there's a lot of low content niches that you can go ahead and scale as well. I mean, the ones that have been most successful for me, that's just a few of the total niches out there on the marketplace. There are a lot of examples that I have, for example, my YouTube that I've discovered where people are making a lot of money. So, I mean, my few niches that I do have is just a small stone in the lake. There's tons of niches out there.
Can you describe the amount and type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
Yeah, so for maintenance, I spend around 6 to 8 hours a week just doing several things. So that would be managing the virtual assistants. I have 2 of them. So that'd be sending the emails, tasking them on what to do for the week and things like that. I'd spend some time uploading the material that they have. So they send me the book interiors, the book covers and things. I do a few touches to them, upload them onto the Amazon Marketplace with the correct keywords, the correct title. And the rest of my time will be spent on ads. So just making sure the ads are profitable as always, trimming off unprofitable ads, scaling the ads that are very profitable. And that would take up the 6 to 8 hours a week that I spend on this business for maintenance.
Okay. And some of our listeners might not be familiar with your business model. So what kind of skills or requirements do you think there would be for somebody who wasn't familiar with it and wanted to take on a business like this?
Actually, not too much. I mean, I started this business with no knowledge on publishing, advertising, very little knowledge on Amazon. And I went on to create the business that I have now. So I would say that you don't need any knowledge coming in. There's a lot of material out there that you can just basically pick it up and learn very quickly what to do. So for example, the ads, there's just a few set rules that I follow, to keep the ads profitable at all times. So I can literally very quickly brief you on how to keep the ads profitable. And that's basically it really. So it's very easy to learn, very easy to pick up stuff. But honestly, I would say you wouldn't need anything coming into this business. Everything can be learned and learned easily and quickly.
And what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
As always, I think the biggest risk for this business is the fact that we're using Amazon's platform. So we have to play by their rules. So you just have to keep yourself updated on the terms and conditions of Amazon. Just make sure you check everything. So don't use any trademarks in your titles, subtitles, and things like that. And you should be clear sailing with Amazon, really.
All right. I've just got a few more questions for you. Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I would commit to my own compete.
And how much support are you offering buyers?
So I'd be happy to do the standard 30-day email and 2 Skype calls. I mean, obviously, I'm here to help the buyer transition into the business. So I'd be happy to extend the 30 days emails if needed. So anything like that to, help the buyer get comfortable with the business.
All right. Wonderful. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I wouldn't, just because I would want the capital to start my other online businesses that I mentioned. I'd be more happy to negotiating, a movement on the price of the cost of the business, but not an earnout.
All right, that's fair enough. And putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Like I say, with why I started with KDP, I really do like the business model because it's very flexible in how you want to run it. I think you can be very passive if you wanted to. You could work just a few hours a week, like I say, and keep the business maintained. Or you can be as active as you want within the business and, grow it as fast as you'd want. There's a lot of opportunities still. I think Amazon, is a very great marketplace to be on. They're always trying to grow the amount of customers that buy your books. So, for example, they recently opened an Amazon Australia marketplace, which I've seen more sales from because of that. So it's a very dynamic marketplace. They're always trying to increase the sales. So it's a very fast-paced, fast-growing marketplace to be on. So I like Amazon for that. And yeah, just like I say, you can be as active as passive as you want and gives you very steady royalty every single month. So I would say it's a very good investment.
Great. So is there anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I think we covered everything there.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your time, Ben. It's been a pleasure to learn more about you and your business.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 56148. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.